Hi, I hope you guys are doing well today. Myself, am doing pretty good. We got one problem though. There's a wasp puppy guarding my video recording spot. So I don't have anywhere to prop my phone up. I'm gonna be holding it, and the camera's gonna be a little bit shaky, but it is what it is. Today I want to be talking about the power that knowledge gives you, the power that being able to communicate well and articulate that knowledge gives you. Um, Earlier today, I was in a situation where I needed to kind of defend my decision, and here, I'll just give you the specifics. So, right, I'm on a wrestling team, college wrestling team. My coach wanted me to turn off my do not disturb on my phone so that I would see when he texts me, right? Um, I needed to defend this, obviously, because I have a strong belief that text messages and notifications going off while you're trying to focus on something like read or do homework or anything of that sort, journal, it breaks your focus, and you're not, I forget where I read this, but you aren't able to get back to that same level of focus for 23 minutes after getting distracted. So I had to articulate to my coach exactly that, right? That the reason I have it on is so I don't get distracted, and that it takes 23 minutes to get your focus back after getting distracted. And he told me that he respects that, and that he's not going to expect me to turn it off then. I feel as if this is a very good example of the power of articulation and knowledge, because, well, one, if I didn't have the knowledge that distractions are awful for your mental health and deteriorate your ability to focus, not only in the moment, but in general, like overall in total, I would never put on do not disturb in the first place. And then, of course, my attention span would not be as good as it is now. My control of my attention would not be as good as it is now. So that's one reason that knowledge is power, because knowing that information gives you access to health benefits that you would have never knew existed, or how to get them, right? But then, of course, my ability to articulate that knowledge also provided me benefits, because if I say I wasn't able to articulate well, and I wasn't able to defend my case to my coach, or explain why I like to have it on do not disturb, I probably would have just been thinking, damn, but I really need that, I really need to keep it on so I don't get distracted. But I wouldn't know how to say that to my coach, so I would just be like, oh, okay, and then turn it off. And then from that point on, my attention span and control of attention would deteriorate, because I became all those notifications throughout my day while I'm trying to focus. And of course, as we know, it takes 23 minutes to get back to the same level of focus that you were at before a distraction. And also just the amount of times I forget, how do they say it? Someone who's distracted more often by external distractions, right, is more likely to also start distracting themselves. So essentially, their attention span dissipates, and they can't keep focus on what they're doing, even without someone bothering them, saying something, or texts, or calls. So you want to control things like texts and calls as much as you can, so put it on do not disturb. And then if you live with family, just ask them when you're trying to focus, hey, I'm going to be trying to do this for a little bit, can you not bother me? Say it nicer than that. That was a lazy way to say it, but they'll understand if they're understanding people. And I'm assuming that the people that you live with are understanding, just because you're probably understanding, or you're clearly smart, you're clearly educated, because you're watching these types of videos, right? And it's hard to be smart and educated around people that aren't understanding or smart and educated themselves. You get it. But I think I came strayed away from my main point here, which was that articulation, or your ability to communicate, is power. But I think we know that. I think we know that. I think if we're here watching this video, we know that. And I think it's always good anyways to just remind you, and all, of course, here I'm also reminding myself by taking the time to articulate this, which will improve my ability to recall that information when the time is necessary to recall that information. It will, so say, because I've taken this time to articulate my thoughts on this, I will now be more likely to be able to recall the fact that both knowledge and your ability to articulate are power in situations where it will be important for me to know that. Like, say, when I'm feeling weak and feeling like I don't really feel like recording a YouTube video, which would improve my articulation, or I don't really feel like journaling, which improves my articulation, or I don't really feel like reading, which improves my articulation. That information, that knowledge is power and articulation is power, will pop into my head, will be more likely to pop in my head, more readily available information now that I've used it in this setting of specifically of recording a YouTube video. And of course I do journal about the importance of this, and do remind myself of it in other places. But so essentially it's going to be more readily available information, and it will provide me with, I guess, it'll pop up in my head when I need that information to stay disciplined and to strengthen my willpower. In moments that I feel weak, I'll be able to call upon this information again. And that's another reason that knowledge is power, right? I wasn't even intending for that, but I guess it's nice that it worked out that way. Of course, knowledge is power because you can recall on that information to build up your own strength and discipline in moments of weakness, right? You recall information that's like, oh, this is definitely why I should stay disciplined. This is a great reason why I should stay disciplined. Even if I don't feel like it, you'll get that information only if you've read that information and took the time to study and learn that information. And if you don't have that knowledge, it's not gonna do you any good. It can still be a fact. It can be still something that other people use, but if you didn't take the time to learn it, you're not gonna get the benefits. So something that's important here is, now that you know why power or knowledge is power and why articulation is important, don't just finish this video and then go to the next video. Remember how important it is to practice recalling that information. So like, write down your own thoughts about why it's so important and examples that you can come up with, and like just journal a little bit after this and kind of drill it into your head, so when you are feeling weak, you can use that information, use your understanding of why knowledge is power to go seek more knowledge instead of taking the easy way out. I think it's important, man. I really do. The more and more I practice my articulation abilities, and the more I practice not practice consuming knowledge, but the more I consume knowledge, good knowledge, and teach myself, the better I feel. The more power I have, the easier it is to stay disciplined. And we all know how important discipline is to your health, to how you feel. If you can't stay disciplined, you're not going to go to the gym and get those benefits that it brings you. You're not going to read and get those benefits that it brings you. You're not going to eat healthy and get those benefits that it brings you. You need discipline. So go seek some knowledge. And also, here I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate this into what I'm saying. But I watched a YouTube video yesterday that reminded me how important it is to output more information than you input. So don't read more than you write and think and talk and output information. You know what output information means. So it's just, if you input too much information, you're gonna cram your mind and make it like really hard to have organized thought and be able to articulate clearly. When you're outputting information, it helps you. It is practice articulating information, and it's also what organizes information. Speech is most people's sorry, there's a wasp. Most people's the way that they organize their information the most. I'm avoiding getting stung. But just take time to organize the information that you take in. Don't put or read more or listen more than you articulate yourself. You gotta organize those thoughts. I'm gonna call it a video at that because I'm getting incredibly distracted by this wasp. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a good day.